Extreme electromagnetic radiation, UV levels equals ultra high frequency.
July 8th, Saturday, 12:30, Mountain Time, 2017. UV in the direct sunlight, pushing a 12 today. All blue. Got a few clouds over to the east. We just hit a 12 right there as I was showing you the sky. And it feels like it too. The sunlight's intense. It's kind of humid. Hopefully it'll rain. Temperature's a measly 109. And here's a look at some surface temperatures. And here's some other UV readings from Amsterdam and across the country.
Wow.
If you're outside, carry portable shades, wear a hat, sunglasses, long sleeves, stay hydrated, and be safe out there.
Wear a hat, sunglasses, and long sleeves. Why, so-called Negro? Do you have to protect yourself, or is he just talking to his tribe? Wear a hat, sunglasses. Protect yourself from the sun. Ultra high frequencies. They're going crazy off the UV radiation. Is the sun not their friend? And when it turns up the UV, is that also turning up your melanin, your consciousness, your flow? Well, it all starts with water. Still, man, love to Mr. MBB333. Y'all go check out more of that, man. It all starts with water, man. And you can't talk water without talking spirit science. I've been waiting to get back in the spirit science drop. It's always a good time, man. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? We know we got a lot of hijacking here. You got a lot of thought in here. You know, we're going to get to some of that thought. You know what I mean? Because it always comes up when you talk about this Atlantis and all this hijack that they're on. Yet, you will learn about crystals, and you might learn a few questions to ask
I'd like to
about your water. Let's go.
give a shout out to our beautiful friend Carolyn Gimarelli, who is helping us out with guest art this week. Thank you, Carolyn. The time has come for us to talk about water. This has been one of those things that has caused some disputes in the comments and discussions ever since episode 1, when I brought up Dr. Emoto, who spent his life researching water and demonstrated that by projecting love onto water and freezing the water, it would cause the water to freeze in beautiful patterns. Projecting negatively onto water caused the water to form like this, and that's a pretty dramatic difference. Emoto has tried this with many different energies and emotions. This is Beethoven, Bach, and Mozart. This is heavy metal, and this is hate. Now, the common argument from the skeptical perspective is that there was a triple-blind study on Emoto's research, and several times they didn't see nearly the same results that Emoto did. Does this mean Emoto is a lying, crazy Japanese guy? Not necessarily. He seems like a pretty level-headed guy. Could it mean that the people who did the triple-blind studies didn't understand what Emoto understood about water? Well, I feel like this may be more of a possibility, but this is what we're going to discuss today. Now, let's objectively look at water for a second. What do we really know about it scientifically? Well, we know that it's the most common substance on Earth. We also know that every living species of life on Earth comes from water, and needs water to grow. This includes crystals too, by the way. We know that the human body is roughly 75 to 90% water, and that's quite a bit. Not just humans, though. It's prevalent in all life. Without water, life could not exist on this planet. Science knows that life emerged on Earth from water, and all of our studies of the planet shows that life must have originated with water and slowly evolved outwards, growing and flowing and forming new life. But water was that original substance that it started in. They often call this the primordial soup. Water is the only element in existence that can exist in 3 states: solid, liquid, and gas. Because of that, it's pretty much everywhere. Water doesn't just flow in oceans, lakes, and rivers, but it flows through the air. Those clouds are nothing but water. It's also in abundance in the North and South Poles. What else do we know about water? Well, it's the only element that expands when it freezes, and contracts when it heats. Every other element on the planet does the opposite, which science today cannot explain. Scientists have also discovered that water is capable of creating an immense amount of pressure, either through freezing the water or even in life. In a seed, for example, it reaches 400 atmospheres of pressure at the point of germination. This is why a plant shoot can break through asphalt with ease. Why does water have the highest surface tension of all liquids? Why is it that it's the most powerful solvent on Earth? And why is water able to rise against gravity through the trunks of giant trees against thousands of atmospheres of pressure? Want to know the truth? The truth is that there are a lot of unanswered questions about water and what it is that we have absolutely no logical conclusive answers to. This is an absolutely beautiful thing because it...
What's water? Quick. What's water? So we all think we know what water is, and we all have no idea. What's air? You think that's air you're breathing? Well, the air is the water, and the breath is the ha-wa. The secure breath means you have it all at your possession as a gift. All that you can breathe, all that this amorphous substance can form is yours. And without that secure breath, without the safe breath, it's all chaotic against you. So what do we know about water? And is water conscious? Is it consciousness? Can it remember? Can it retain?
Admitting that we know nothing allows us to open up to learn new things about what it is that we want to know. In this situation, water. That's exactly what many scientists around the world have started doing, and it's led to some miraculous revelations. The following clips are from a secret documentary I found about water floating around on the depths of YouTube. It keeps being taken down. I wonder why.
As it records information, water acquires new properties, yet its chemical composition remains unchanged.
So their theory was the chemical composition of the water is important. Now the sensational news is that that is nonsense. The structure of water is much more important than the chemical composition.
The structure of water is much more important than the chemical composition. all you know about water. When I say water, you say H2O, chemical composition. The structure of water is way more important than the chemical composition. So the structure must be in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration.
The structure of water means how its molecules are organized. We can see how water molecules join together into groups. These are called clusters. Scientists came up with the idea that these clusters work as memory cells of a certain sort, in which water records the whole history of its relationship with the world as if on magnetic tape.
What? Water records the entire history of the world?
In which water records the whole history of its relationship with the world as if on magnetic tape.
People don't think when you turn on the light, the water is changing. When you turn on the electric field from the power lines, the water may change. So that is the direction of research. Water, of course, remains water, but its structure, like a nervous system, reacts to any irritation. Modern instruments have made it possible to record the fact that within each of water's memory cells, there are 440,000 information panels, each of which is responsible for its own type of interaction with the environment.
If you consider a cluster as a group of specific molecules, then it can survive only a short amount of time. But if you consider it as a structure whereby molecules can leave and other molecules come in, the cluster can last effectively for a very long time.
The stability of the cluster structures confirmed the hypothesis that water is capable of recording and storing information.
It may be the single most malleable computer, it's like a computer memory. It's the memory of information. We must know how it is arranged. It is like the alphabet. If I give you the alphabet, you don't know a word, you don't know a letter, you don't know a sentence. So the molecular structure is the alphabet of water. And you must make a sentence out of water, and you can change a sentence.
See, it's not just Emoto who's doing research on water, but many scientists, especially a lot of Russian scientists too, are hammering out amazing water discoveries every day. Emoto kind of led the way publicly when it came to the crystallized water freezing, though, which opened up many avenues of public discussion. Now that we've looked at the light side of things, it's time to take a look at the darkness. Remember, everything is energy, and all energy can be transmuted from light to dark, or vice versa. This is how water flows naturally in nature. Doesn't that look happy? Water flows and curves wherever it needs to go. However, water makes a different trip when it goes into our homes. It goes like this. Lots and lots and lots of right-angle turns and hard edges.
Wow.
If you've read the Emerald Tablets, you might remember Thoth describing in Tablet 8 the story of how he existed in the realm of curves, and it was amazing. But then he ventured into the realm of angles and was chased down by demons.
Whoa, wait a minute. What did you say? Come on, we gotta dodge the hijack. That train's never late. Here comes Thoth.
Curves, and it was amazing. But then he ventured into the realm of angles and was chased down by demons.
Wait. Ventured into the realm of angles. Man, you sound like he just made some left turn into some darkness, but Thoth is coming through the darkness, right? I mean, look, you can't just let these people go crazy sometimes. Oh man, we're talking about the shadows and the space-time. Now, he said he just ran up on some realm of angles and had to run from these demons. Now, how did Thoth put it? We're in the Emerald Tablets. I'll leave the link. Tablet number 8. Now listen to me, old man, he says. Old man, to the depths of my wisdom speak I of knowledge hidden from man. Far have I been on my journey through space-time, even to the end of space of this cycle. So he's journeying through the celestial illusion the celestial grid underneath the barrier. What barrier? Even to the end of the space of this cycle. Excuse me, my bad. Let me get you over here. I know it's small, but I'm just getting this right quick, man. They over there talking about demons and demons chasing Thoth. Now, did Thoth say he was chased by demons? Or is someone interjecting their agenda? Speak I of knowledge hidden from man. Far have I been on my journey through space-time, even to the end of space of this cycle. Glimpsed the hounds of the barrier. Now you just heard he was chased by some demons when he walked into the angle realm, right? These angels moving in angles, angels moving in angles. So are these hounds, or are these angels moving in angles? But let's go. Glimpse the hounds of the barrier. Oh, you didn't know there was a barrier? Drop keeps saying barrier. Thoth said barrier. Thoth said there's a barrier he can't get beyond. Drop say you come from beyond that barrier that Thoth couldn't get beyond. You come from a greater light, a greater energy. But wait, there's more. Lying in wait for he who would pass them. So these angels, or who they're calling hounds of the barrier, are protecting this barrier, lying in wait for he who would pass them. No one gets past the barrier. The angels don't let anyone pass the barrier. In that space where time exists not. So there is no time beyond the barrier because you're off the clock. You're in the creator's frequency. Faintly I sense the guardians of cycles move. They only through angles. Whoa, he called them the guardians of cycles. What does spirit science do? Just call them, man. That's what we got Dr. Hijack. He just tried to throw it out right quick, but we got the emerald tablets in our back pocket, man.
It goes like this. Lots and lots and lots of right angle turns and hard edges. If you've read the Emerald Tablets, you might remember Thoth describing in Tablet 8 the story of how he existed in the realm of curves, and it was amazing. But then he ventured into the realm of angles and was chased down by demons.
So he was amazed and ventured into the realm of angles, was chased down by demons. Well, they said Tablet 8. Guess what? We're in Tablet 8. In that space where time exists not, beyond the barrier. Faintly I sense the guardians of cycles. Are those demons? Let's keep reading. Move they only through angles. Free are they not of the curved dimensions. So Thoth is moving in curves. The angels or guardians or hounds are moving in angles. Curves, angles, circle the square, square the circle. Let's go. Strange and terrible are the hounds of the barrier. So Thoth is scared to death about these guardians. Follow they consciousness to the limits of space. Think not to escape by entering your body. For follow they fast the soul through angles, these angels. Only the circle will give you protection, save from the claws of the dwellers in angles. Those that are moving in angles that are dwelling beyond the barrier. What barrier? Once in time past, I approached the great barrier. So Thoth's going to tell you a story. He going to bring up Thoth. We going to bring up Thoth. But we're going to see the full context of these dwellers in angles, what they're also calling guardians of cycles. Beyond the barrier. What barrier? I approached the great barrier. What barrier, Thoth? What happened when you tried to walk up on these angels that are protecting the barrier, the frequency that the children, the seed of the Creator, only are dwelling in? I approached this great barrier and saw on the shores where time exists not. So Thoth looked into it and said, damn, that's beautiful. Time don't even exist past that barrier. The formless forms, they were without form. They were in higher vibrations than Thoth. Of the hounds of the barrier, or guardians of the barrier, or angels that are moving in angles, Thoth. Hiding in the midst beyond time, I found them, and they, scenting me afar off, raised themselves and gave the great bell cry that could be heard from cycle to cycle and moved through space toward my soul. So just because these angels or these guardians even sensing me afar off, they sensed the energy of the hijack, and they raised themselves up and let out a great bell cry that could be heard from cycle to cycle. And Thoth felt that shit in his soul, through space towards my soul. So what did Thoth do? Fled I fast before them, back from time's unthinkable end. But ever after me they pursued they, moving in strange angles, these angels, not known to man. So these angels are moving in angles, following this circular pattern that Thoth is doing. Now, what does that got to do with the Ankh? The cross in the circle, the square the circle, strange angles. These angels are moving in strange angles, not known to man. I, on the great shores of time space's end, found I the hounds of the barrier, ravening for the soul who attempts the beyond. So they're ravening for the soul who attempts to get beyond the barrier, beyond space and time, beyond where the formless forms are. Fled I through circles back to my body, fled and fast after me they followed. I, after me the devourers followed, seeking through angles to devour my soul. So clearly they have the drop on Thoth Tahuti. They have the drop, moving through angles to devour his soul. I mean, he must not have had enough spirit power because he had to run from it. I, know ye man. Hey man, know ye man. He's telling you, man, that the soul who dares the barrier. Hey man, hear me. It's what Thoth is saying. Dig on this, man. That any soul that the soul who dares the barrier, dares to go beyond the barrier, may be held in bondage. So the Creator has given these angels that are moving in angles, protecting the barrier. They're calling them hounds. Are they calling them demons? Come on, spirit science. We're reading tablet 8, man. Are we hearing demons, man?
Angle turns and hard edges. If you've read the Emerald Tablets, you might remember Thoth describing in Tablet 8 the story of how he existed in the realm of curves, and it was amazing. But then he ventured into the realm of angles and was chased down by demons.
Or was he chased down by hounds or guardians or angels protecting the barrier? And that if they catch his ass, he may be held in bondage by the hounds from beyond time. If they're beyond time, that means that they're working for the Creator, protecting the barrier, held till the cycle is complete. So if they catch any of these, folks thinking that they are going through their own, outer body cycles and all of what they were, pushing through their magic science and their mystery schools. And yeah, man, he's telling them, like, look, know that if you dare to go beyond that barrier, you will be held in bondage by those angels from beyond time, held till this cycle is complete, man, and left behind when the consciousness leaves. When the wave leaves, you will be left behind. You won't even be in consciousness when this is over, man. Enter I, my body, created the circles that know not angles, created the form that from my form was formed, made my body into a circle, and lost the pursuers in the circles of time. But even yet, when free from my body, cautious ever must I be, not to move through angles, else my soul may never be free. Know you, man, that the hounds of the barrier, these angels, move only through angles and never through curves of space. Only by moving through curves can you escape them, for in angles they will pursue you. Oh, man, heed my warning, man. Seek not to break open the gate to beyond. So Thoth is telling you straight up, don't try to get beyond the Creator's barrier. That is only for the children. That's only for the frequency. The seed is frequency. And when you have another frequency and you're only dealing with the celestial gates, don't try to venture beyond the gate to beyond. Few there are who have succeeded in passing the barrier. Like who? Enoch? Moshe? Elijah? Who has passed the barrier to the greater light that shines beyond? The greater light? Whoa, thoughts, slow down. Because you just broke down how you're the light, how you're light, and the light of the dweller, and the halls of Amente, and all these pyramids, and all the light of the circles, moving in circular patterns, with little known angles to run from these angels protecting the barrier. But now you're talking about the greater light, Thoth? Are you admitting to us, the seed? Are you admitting to us, the seed, that there is a light greater than yours? And you're running from it? You can't get too close to it? So if he's scared shitless, what is he scared for? What is he running from? If not the Creator? If not you, when you're awake? There are few who have succeeded in passing the barrier. Well, you know that. Not everybody gets through, right? Not everybody gets through these gates, right? To the greater light that shines beyond. For know you, ever the dwellers seek such souls to hold in their thrall. Listen, O man, and heed my warning. Seek you to move not in angles but curves. And if, while free from the body, thou hearest the sounds like a bay of a hound ringing clear and bell-like through thy being, flee back to the body through circles, penetrate not the midst before. Woo! When thou hast entered the form that has dwelled in, use the cross and the circle combined. What's that? The Ankh. Oh man, it symbolizes a fertility, brother. Use the cross and circle combined. When thou hast entered the form thou hast dwelt in. So when you get back to your body, use the cross and the circle, use the Ankh, open your mouth and use your voice. Utter the word that shall be free, and thou shalt be free. So they had a secret password, frequency. They spoke this word, this frequency, through their Ankh, through their circle and cross. And that freed them from these angels protecting the barrier. Utter the word, and thou shalt be free. Thoth is looking for freedom. Thoth is looking for freedom. Only the one who of light has the fullest can hope to pass the guards of the way. So only their highest level celestial dweller, who we talking about? Who has the light of the fullest? Who we talking about? Lucifer? Can hope to pass by the guards of the way. We're talking about Zeus. We're talking about Jesus. And then must he move through strange curves and angles that are formed in direction not known to man. So even this Lucifer or this dweller has to run from the hounds protecting the barrier, or he's going to be held in what? Bondage, man. We just talking about the greater light. Few there are who have succeeded in passing the barrier to the greater light that shines beyond, and they run from it. Now, do these sound like demons chasing down Thoth? Oh, Thoth is the good guy, and bad guys are running after Thoth. Is that a victim story that they're giving in spirit science? Or is Thoth trying to navigate through space and time consciousness and warning that if he gets past, if he brings his hijack too far to the barrier, he will be ran down and put in bondage? He will be ran down and put in bondage by a greater light, a greater frequency. Wake up, tribe up.
Now, the story itself, I feel, cannot truly be comprehended from our current level of consciousness, but yet it has a striking connection to how we damage our water through our technology. This doesn't flow. It's not healthy. The natural structure of water is broken apart with every turn. On an even greater scale, it is known that most cities work on a closed-loop system. This means that the water we use is continually recycled over and over. The water passes through aggressive chemical purification and powerful filters. Then, the water returns to our homes, still remembering the chemicals and violence it was subjected to. Even worse than that, though, is the informational pollution that the water accumulates as the water flows down miles of long pipes through thousands and thousands of homes and apartments. We are polluting our water spiritually, and it's happening on a huge scale. The water adopts all of the stress, fear, and anger in our lives. By the time it gets to our bodies, it is not in very good shape at all, and it's not benefiting us by drinking it. Now, I realize that that's pretty dark, but the most important thing to remember is that everything is energy, and all energy can be transmuted. So let's talk about that. What are some practical solutions for both cleansing our own water and getting cleaner and happier water into our bodies? First, I believe that this is another one of those many uses of orgonite. If we throw orgonite into our sewers or just keep them near the pipes in our houses, that will begin to drastically alter and begin a positive transmutation of the negative energy into the water into something more fantastic. Second, make yourself some spirit water. Since we discussed spirit water in Crystals Part 2, many individuals have written in to tell how they are no longer drinking coffee in the morning because they are putting crystals in their water before they go to bed and having a healthy, fresh glass of charged and vitalized water before their day instead. By bringing that healthy energy into your being, you're able to use that frequency and make yourself healthier and think clearer, and bring more high frequency and happiness into your life and all those around you, which in turn will spread more love. If our ancestors were able to make healing water using silver jars, what's to stop us from doing it too? Third, I think it would be amazing to do a weekly water meditation. Every Sunday, I'm going to go into meditation and put my intention and focus on healing and rejuvenating the water of the planet. It doesn't have to be at a synchronized time, we'll just say at some point on Sundays. You can work on transmuting the water in your body, or in the water flowing through your house, or for the whole planet. It's up to you, and every meditation will count, because you're setting your intention and projecting your consciousness that which you desire. And finally, be grateful for the water you drink. Here's another clip I'd like to show you.
Dr. Emoto has conducted another interesting experiment. He placed rice into 3 glass beakers and covered it with water. And then every day for a month, he said, "Thank you" to one beaker, "You're an idiot" to the second, and the third one he completely ignored. After 1 month, the rice that had been thanked began to ferment, giving off a strong, pleasant aroma. The rice in the second beaker turned black. And the rice that was ignored began to rot. Dr. Emoto thinks that this experiment provides an important lesson, especially with regard to how we treat children. We should take care of them, give them attention, and converse with them. Indifference does the greatest harm.
Indifference does the greatest harm. To be indifferent to you, to who you are, is the worst thing you can do for you and your children. To be indifferent. I don't care. Whatever. It is what it is. It works on many different levels.
Really study, but almost practice.
Water creates so many structures that life cannot exist without. Water forms the DNA helix. Water also forms the structures of proteins. Our bodies cannot work without water. Every seed, every embryo begins in water. It is the surrounding water in the embryo that gives life and brings the nutrition that is necessary to facilitate growth in that life. Our Earth is a giant container of water from which every form of life arose. Every living thing is essentially a container of water. Just like a piece of art that has not yet been sculpted by an artist in a clump of clay, within the water contains every infinite possibility for life within it. Water brought to life a pre-existing conception of life, but for any life to begin, there first must have been an impulse. Every species of living being constantly strives toward its own perfection, and it all came from the same original consciousness, the same source. The final thing I want to bring up before we conclude this week's discussion is a very cosmic analogy. Without water, life on Earth could not exist. The only other element that is absolutely necessary for life is the sun. Without the sun, we could not have life. And in a poetic and beautiful way, this is the cosmic father and mother of life on Earth. Think about it. In biological reproduction...
Dodge the hijack. You know what I mean? They just took you to the Ras and the Thoths. And they'll keep you there. Keep you worshiping the celestial. Oh, cosmic mother, cosmic father. No, man. You have one creator. You have one creator. You have one creator that they call in their indestructible emerald tablets the greater light that shines beyond the barrier. Oh, but underneath the barrier, There's mommy and daddy. No, you have a framer, you have a shaper that transcends space and time. All of it.
You need a man and a woman. The male provides the seed, and the female provides the egg. And together they do a dance and form new life. The sun is the male aspect, bringing the cosmic life force energy to Mother Earth. Mother Earth is, of course, the mother, providing the egg where the new life will grow. And water could be likened to the placenta, from which all life grows in. The surface of the earth where life grows is the womb for the life on the planet. As above, so below. Mother, father, child equals earth, sun, new life. And that's us, as well as all of the animals and wildlife and crystals and everything living on this planet. Modern science and society is relatively skeptical, to say the least, of the messages from water. But when you look at it as a whole, I feel that Emoto's work is just scratching the tip of the iceberg when it comes to understanding water. To look at these frozen water crystals and brush it off as a pseudoscience is incredibly dismissive of a much larger understanding about what water is and what role it plays in the evolution of life itself. It is life. It is you.
So we're going to take that, man. You know what I mean? We're going to take that right into this matter, this matrix. And we got a piece of this, but let's keep connecting the wave here. See how the water, how the consciousness of water connects to this matrix of all matter, consciousness and perception. Shout out to Still Looking, dropping that drop. Let's go.
I want you to listen. Then what? Share it. With whoever you share with, whoever you know, the people you're close to.
And there's an ocean of pure, vibrant consciousness inside each one of us. And it's right at the source and base of mind, right at the source of thought, and it's also at the source of all matter.
Ocean of consciousness, water, memory. Let's go.
There is no matter as such. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force which brings the particle of an atom to vibration and holds this most minute solar system of the atom together. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind.
Wow.
This mind is the matrix of all matter.
Wow.
Saturn seems like a good place to begin. The solidity of the world seems totally indisputable. As a fixed thing that you can see and touch, your body is also reassuringly solid. But beginning with Einstein, modern physics has assured us that this solidity is a mirage.
All of physical matter, everything we have around us, is the result of a frequency. And what that also means is that if you amplify the frequency, the structure of the matter will change.
Quantum physics has revealed what ancient masters knew. Matter does not exist. The concept of substance arose from the philosophy of Aristotle. And from that concept came science's conception of matter. The fact of the matter is that the substance of the universe is consciousness. Belief that the substance of the universe is matter leads to what I call a fear-greed dichotomy, as people in their quiet desperation attempt to accumulate as many material possessions and riches as possible. In fact, the substance of the universe is consciousness. Therefore, it is behavior that is important.
The life we perceive with our five senses is not reality. Quantum physics has shown that space and time are illusions of perception. Therefore, our bodies cannot truly be a reality if they occupy this space.
Rutherford performed an experiment in Manchester that revealed him the shape of the interior of an atom. Scientists were shocked to discover that the atom is almost entirely empty space.
Empty space. So your thought is sound, and sound is matter. Thought is sound, sound is matter. What's the matter? What's the sound? What's the vibration? Frequency is law. It is a sound. What do you hear? If everything's built of empty space, then it is all consciousness. And you've made a pact, you've made an agreement into a collective consciousness. Water is computer memory, matrix of all matter, crystal consciousness.
The question then became, how could this empty atom possibly make the solid world around us?
The blank matter within the most basic building blocks of perceivable existence is malleable and molded by intent. This means that consciousness shapes our reality. This seems difficult to accept for most, and it is quite understandable. In modern times, we are taught from an early age how to think rationally and tangibly. This is a very left-brain method of education, and it has more harmful effects than is given credit for. The left brain deals with logic, details, facts, patterns, practicality, science, and math, as the right brain deals with feeling, intuition, symbols, images, risk-taking, philosophy, and religion. With a deliberate push for government-controlled educational curriculums, generation after generation of the youth are being taught to focus only on the facts, figures, and numbers. Repetition is used to train children subconsciously to accept what they're learning. Children aren't rewarded for questioning the validity of the information they receive. They're ridiculed. However, the children who blindly accept the information as true and merely regurgitate the information on command when it is time to take a test, those children go on to become the decision makers in our government, law, medicine, business, and every other occupation with power and prestige. The most detrimental effect of being pushed away from holistic thinking with the full brain into a strictly left brain thought is what is known as the suppression of the feminine. Every male and female have both feminine and masculine qualities. It has nothing to do with man or woman. These are represented by the left and right brain, yin and yang, black and white, light and dark, and most every other duality. Both are vital to our spiritual and physical health. So the intangible parts of our existence, such as emotions, are part of the true reality of higher consciousness. If emotions are part of a realm that we cannot experience with our five senses, then how is it that we are all aware of our emotions? What most people believe to be emotions are not truly the emotion itself. What we are experiencing is the physical manifestation of these emotions. Anger causes disturbance in the psyche, which manifests itself in the ego. These manifestations cause the heart rate to increase, body temperature to rise, and spawn many other physical traits that signify anger. Just as music from the radio is a physical manifestation of an intangible signal, our experience of emotion is the physical manifestation of an intangible signal as well. It has been shown that our emotions have a vibratory frequency to them. Furthermore, there are only two emotions that humankind experiences: fear and love. All other emotions branch either directly or indirectly from these two emotions. Fear has a long and slow frequency vibration to it, while love has a very rapid and high frequency. To show
it's a whole nother frequency. When you heard the, get the previous drop, the COINTELPRO drop, you know what I'm saying? It's fear that drags, folks to turn on their brothers, man. It's fear of, not having enough money, or, fear of not having enough power, or they want more power. It's the insecurity. People feel insecure when they feel fear. And that fear drives them to go against their own brothers and their own family, their own tribe. It was fear that brought all these treaties into existence, because you were rocking and they were in fear of you when you were connected to your creator, your Hawa, beyond the barrier. When you're connected beyond the barrier, they fear you. So they fear any spark that might connect you back to your creator being hijacked free. But it won't stop. The sparks won't stop until it all catches ablaze.
the vibration is the very foundation of existence, Hans Jene developed what is known as cymatics in the 1940s to show that when vibrations of sound are passed through a form of media, there is a set pattern that will follow. When the frequency increases, the media develops into a more complex pattern.
Frequency.
Precisely what is happening to our Earth and to humanity. There are 64 possible codes of amino acids in our DNA structure made from 4 elements: carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, and nitrogen. By any means of logic, we should have all 64 codes activated within our DNA structure. Yet we presently only have 20 active codes.
And these 64 possibilities, it appears that only 20 of these codes are turned on right now for us, the 20 amino acids. There is a switch that turns off and turns on where those coding sites lie, and that the switch for that turning off and turning on is what we call emotion. And this is the first time that we've ever seen the patterns of emotion directly physically linked to human genetic material.
Wow.
Well, fear is a long, slow wave of emotion. So this wave of fear is a long, slow wave and touches relatively few sites on this DNA. So an individual living in fear is limited to the number of antennae that they have available to them, whereas an individual living in the pattern of love, this is love in DNA, you can see it's a higher frequency, shorter wavelength. We have many more potential sites for coding along that genetic pattern. The information, this is amazing. This is the first time we've ever had a hard digital link between emotion and genetics.
So what happens, so-called Negro, when they got you living in fear? They're affecting your emotion, and you're on light code frequency lockdown, man. I mean, that's one of the great babies, you know what I'm saying, that I got from, studying elders, man, like Phil Valentine. And again, it don't matter how much we don't agree on. The fact is, to build, we all have to, find those similarities, find the drop. All right, so you can build with us without agreeing on this and agreeing on that. We can build with brothers like Valentine or anybody else that's dropping any pertinent drop, regardless of the perspective they have when they drop it. Because we can take it and through a lens that we are building, through a lens that we call this surfing of the wave, this getting the babies out the bathwater, knowing our orientation, our energy, rooted in our Torah and our law, which is frequency, and the 9 commandments in Los Lunas, New Mexico. We could understand and comprehend and understand that these 20 codes that we do have turned on, the rest of them out of the 64, that means 44 codes are turned off because of your emotion, Negro, because of how they got you in lockdown emotionally. So when you get free mentally, you release your Mashiach, you release the energy of your freedom, you release your power that's being held. You are your Mashiach. Your Mashiach is in light code frequency lockdown in your collective mind. You break your mind free, your Mashiach is free. Then you have your salvation through your creator beyond the barrier.
It's important to understand because another researcher named Vladimir Popanov measured tiny particles of light called photons inside a vacuum tube. The photons were scattered as expected. A sample of DNA was then entered into the vacuum tube and they measured the photons again. They found that the particles of light aligned themselves along the axis of the DNA. Then, as they removed the DNA sample, the photons remained aligned to the same form of the DNA, even though no DNA was present. This is what is known as the phantom DNA experiment. Science now bridges a very important gap between physical and ethereal, or spiritual. Our emotions directly affect the structure of our DNA, which directly shapes the physical world we experience.
My people, this means right now, starting right now, you're watching this right now, check your emotions. All that beating yourself up, stop it. All that, oh, this is what I am and I'm not this, stop it. Stop the emotional draggage and drain that you've inherited. You've inherited lies. You are kings on this earth. Queens on this earth. You come in a royal frequency is all I'm saying. You're the royal seeds of Hawa. Yeah, you are the priest. And you look around and all the stuff you don't have, just know how much you do have. There's no amount of this illusion that's going to tell you what you actually have. You have to peel the layers back. You have to know that every breath you take is your existence beyond the barrier. What is air? What is water? What is the water? What is the computer memory? What is the matrix of all matter?
Experience every day. So the messages left by the ancients that we've explained here were more than prophecies about a one-world government or a new world order. We now understand why the study of the heavenly bodies were so important. The rotation and orbit of all that makes up our universe serves as a clock to map changes and transitions. Then the ancients understand that the change of the heavenly bodies were a mirror to the changes of all existence.
These are hertz, frequencies, or cycles per second that the musicians can retune their instruments to play and experiment with. Why? Again.
That's the hijack. Let's go. Again, if they're using this, yeah, let's go.
These are the Creator's musical scale, the original solfeggio, buried for 3,000 years in the Bible. So the ancient priests who knew how to levitate the huge stones for the building of the pyramids and the Masonic knowledge that predated ancient Egypt, the ability to have this information, these frequencies, serve the function of creation, destruction, and miracles on behalf of the empowered people who had access to this knowledge. I say that because of this metaphor. This is the difference between the power of our Creator and anything else, particularly evil.
Listen up.
That you can go into a pitch black room full of evil, full of darkness, and light a little candle, and instantly that darkness flees. But you can't do the opposite. You can't go into a well-lit room full of truth and wisdom and righteousness and joy and health and harmony with the universal power. And you can't take off any amount of darkness and go into that well-lit room and have any effect whatsoever. That is the metaphor which I frequently think of when I think that I'm not empowered. It is the greatest lesson for me, and I think for everybody else, to know that we're on the winning side and that we win in the end.
And in the end, what does it mean? I mean, what does it mean to have the light, the greater light, right? We're just talking the greater light. You said you could turn a single candle on to light up a dark room, and when you come from the greater light, few there are who have succeeded in passing the barrier to the greater light. Well, to pass the barrier, you must hearken the commandment. You must hearken the reality. You must comprehend that a seed grows here that was always placed here to connect to the greater light. And that seed that was placed here, these copper-colored races that have been invaded, that the treaties have been done against, that are just now waking up, connect to the greater light. And they have been cut off from being a nation that connects to the greater light. And you find a substantiating drop even in Thoth's impenetrable emerald tablets. Does he have to admit of the greater light that shines beyond? For no, you, even the dwellers, seek such souls to hold in their thrall. Souls to hold in their thrall from beyond the greater light. Even the dwellers seek such souls to hold in their thrall. We're talking about bondage for them. Creating circles that have no angles. We're talking about being held in bondage. Know you, man, that the soul who dares the barrier may be held in bondage, man. So when you come from the greater light, yeah, a single candle can light up an entire room, right? And yeah, no amount of darkness can jam up a room full of light. But what light? Thoughts? Celestial light? Or are we talking the greater light that shines beyond the barrier, the creator of all, the framer and the shaper? We're talking the pure water. We'll get back in that spirit science. We'll get back in that, you know what I'm saying? You got the whole link here. This connects to the whole ancient knowledge series and all that. You know what I mean? Now we're just going to dig on some crystals, man, and see what we can get out of this. Back to that spirit science now. We know how to dodge the hijack, so let's go. Crystal.
No, seriously,
water.
Look at all these amazing structures and forms. They're beautiful, they're powerful, and they're life. Crystals are the essence of life manifesting within the earth, the blossoms of the mineralogical portion of the earth. Recognition of these energies and forms of crystals can greatly benefit your personal growth. It is a very basic consciousness, not as intricate or advanced as some life on earth. Crystals definitely don't have the thinking capacity of humans, or even the biological reproductive systems of plants, but they are life. And today I'm going to show you how this works.
Oh, here we go. That train's never late, right? They have to show you how this works, and they have to give you their symbol, the Eye of Ra, Horus, Tahuti, Thutmoses, 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 Thutmoses. Which one? 1, 2, 3. Which pharaoh? Are we picking up in the 18th dynasty, the singing of Atlantis, back to the emerald tablets, running from the greater light? Why would this thought? Why would this symbol have to run from the light beyond the barrier? We dodge the hijacks. Let's go.
Crystals are defined as being a mineralogical body with a characteristic internal structure and enclosed by a symmetry of plane faces. They are, however, much more than that. We've discussed before that everything in the universe is a vibration, existing through many different frequencies at once. Our physical bodies are on this physical plane, but the sounds that we hear vibrate to a different frequency, as with smells and even thoughts. Crystals also vibrate to many frequencies at once. Health is the natural state of any form in the universe. Considering the vibrational existence of reality, health comes when the frequencies of anything are in balance and harmony with itself. When patterns of energy are disrupted, we experience a state which we know as disease, which is a body that's not at ease. The resistant, discordant energy patterning is responsible for every negative symptom we experience, everything from headache to cancer.
Disharmonic vibrations equal disharmonic state of being. Disharmonic vibration equals disharmonic state of being. When they put you in 440, it is a disharmonic vibration, which equals a disharmonic state of being. And you have to take it upon yourselves to get tuned out of that. We've been doing it for free. We give people 5 songs a month for tuning. For the last 3 or 4 months, we did 50 songs a month for any and everybody who wants to come over and hear their music library or their playlist, Tune 432. Where we at July? For the rest of July, I'm still doing it free for all of our community. 50 songs. Hit me up at music at 432 to drop. for more info. You'll get the private share folder, and we'll start tuning your music up so that you can start experiencing a more harmonic frequency when you work out, when you're in the car and all that. And our app is coming. Our website's on the way back. I'm very excited about it. It's coming out great. And we're going to provide 24/7, 432 music, radio, interviews, radio shows, all that stuff. But the 432 is the vibration. And when they put us in a disharmonic grid, a disharmonic vibration, you're in a disharmonic state of being or bondage.
Crystals and gemstones have a vibration that is free of resistant patterns. They are among some of the structures in the physical dimension which have the most balanced, cohesive, strong, and intentional frequencies. Their unchanging physical structure is a reflection of their innate energetic pattern of balance and strength, which are incorruptible. In the physical world, you pick up a crystal and feel it as something separate from you that you're just holding. But on higher frequencies, you're actually interacting with that stone energetically. This interaction then causes changes to your structure and psychology through your own energetic systems. It begins a process of rebalancing the energetic structure of your body, and in a sense, can help you heal. Now, consciousness is of course the determining factor of if you are going to be accepting of these new frequencies coming into your being through crystals. I'm not going to say crystals will heal you, because if you fight them and are non-receptive to these frequencies, you will continue to create the disharmony within yourself. Ultimately though, crystals can be used to retune your whole being back to a state of harmony and flow. Crystals have been used and revered since the dawning of civilization. In fact, the Christian Bible refers to crystals over 200 times. Precious stones were used in the foundation of New Jerusalem. They were also used in the breastplates of Aaron, the Hebrew high priest. Crystals have been discovered in the ruins of Babylonia and in ancient tombs of Egyptian and Chinese rulers. This wouldn't be spirit science without some sacred geometry, though. Remember the 5 platonic solids? Science understands that all atomic patterns and molecular structures were based on these 5 forms. They create the forms that the universe manifests through. Well, here's the atomic structure of a beryl crystal. It's the flower of life, the creation pattern, flowing through the structure of this crystal. Now, not all crystals are like that molecularly, but they are very geometric. There are 6 categories of crystals. Of course, there are lots and lots and lots of kinds of crystals, but no matter how many there are, they will always be in one of these categories: isometric, tetragonal, hexagonal, orthorhombic, monoclinic, and triclinic. For the most part, all of these systems are derived from the hexahedron, also known as the cube. One of the biggest things about crystals is that they can transmit frequencies. From a metaphysical perspective, we can transmit thoughts and emotions through crystals, but scientifically, does that make sense? Would you believe it if I said that pretty much all of modern computing technology was based on the living element of crystals? Consider the radio. The first radio was a crystal set. They would cut a piece of quartz crystal and touch a wire to it. The frequencies transmitted through the crystal.
The quartz!
Radio, crystals. You see, they're putting intentions and putting their frequency on your natural elements. What happens when you take them back to communicate?
That's right. The molecular arrangement, of course, is very stable and has a measurable frequency. And because of this, it can be used in basic technology. Nobel Prize winner Marcel Vogel discovered that crystals can be reprogrammed as silicon chips in a computer, and can also be programmed with the energy of consciousness. He discovered that when a person uses a computer, thoughts are transmitted into the computer by pressing on a keyboard. That information is stored in silicon chips via the medium of electricity. Thought is a form of energy which can be given direction through what we call intention. He concluded, due to this discovery, that crystals could also be programmed without the need for electricity, by using just thoughts as the informational energy. Another interesting find is that...
So thoughts with your computer. Your computer is flowing off of a crystal right now. There's a crystal in your phone. You're not conscious of it, right? So it's being used against you, right? They're using your ancient technology against you to let you think that you're dependent on them and their superior technology, and they're only using your natural connection, your natural elements. And when you connect, they connect with you. It is all thought. It is all sound. Matter is frequency. Matter is vibration.
Quartz is composed of silicon and oxygen, a combination known to geologists as the building block of all minerals. The living element within crystals is silicon. Science found in the 50s that silicon shows the same principles of life as carbon.
Right.
Science found in the 50s that silicon shows the same principles of life.
So carbon trees today, silicon trees in the past. They cut and quarry silicon trees, take out of the trees what? The minerals, the crystals, the minerals, the precious metals. Now you have these little carbon trees, right? But these silicon trees connected, and they had an energy grid. They had a connectivity. Avatar is not play.
Life has carbon. Exactly 1 octave down on the periodic table from carbon is silicon. Sponges deep in the ocean made from 100% silicon were also discovered, which shows that silicon life doesn't just work in theory, but they actually exist right here on this planet. But get this, the Earth's crust itself is made out of silicon. It's 25% silicon, but silicon bonds with just about everything. So the Earth's crust is actually roughly 80% silicon compound.
So what
We're
are they
literally
really
floating
telling
out in the middle of space on a giant crystal ball.
Are you on a giant ball spinning on a wobble? Alright, you already know. But what they're telling you is that there's a crystal base, there's a silica base. And we had a theory a long time ago. We said it's the foundation of this framework we're in. It's the foundation of it, the antennas of it, the actual roots of these giant trees. How far down do the tunnel systems, they pulling all the crystals out of the earth, right? How far down is it going?
The term Mother Earth never had so much meaning as now, as we learn that the entire planet itself is a conscious, living being. She's aware of you and everything going on her body. The energies within crystals are universal. Therefore, when you connect with a mineral and are open to receiving what it has to offer, and begin to play creatively through your higher self, you can contact and synthesize the energies from which the entire universe is comprised. This is why crystals are so powerful, and why they must only be used through the highest consciousness of the individual. Right intention during the use of crystals further serves to connect your personal energy with that of the crystal kingdom, helping you get to a place of love, of light, and the good of all. Although each and every one of us has an infinite power of the universe within the self, we as humans always like having that support from something external from us. Every crystal form has its own individual energy and its own personality. Each can be used in unique ways to assist one in understanding the nature of existence, or moving forward on our own life path destiny as we're consciously experiencing it. I feel that right now, as people are waking up, we're becoming more and more aware of our ancient knowledge and wisdom. Part of that information that is returning to us is the nature of crystals. I see crystals as being very monumental in the evolution of humankind. They could provide a lot of love, light, and insight for many who are struggling with their own inner demons in this coming time. Things are getting more and more intense, but it's also providing people with the opportunities that they need to raise their own vibrations and frequencies to a level of light and happiness. Healing has to come from within. I'm not going to say that if you just get crystals, you'll be happier or smarter or heal better. However, think of it like being with a close friend who really cares about you. They will provide their energy and attention to you to help you find yourself in this time of need. Crystals are like that. They will give you support if you allow them to, and open up your heart to the frequencies that they are emitting. So where can you get crystals? Well,
these people will have you talking to crystals and worshiping crystals. It's all about frequency, man. So you're connected to that which the Creator is already transporting, the energy that's already here, that's already connected, that's already the water. The water is crystals. Crystals need water. Crystals need sun. All right? Sun, trees, gold. You are the people of crystal trees and gold. You are the seeds found here. Now, where can you get this drop?
Well, there are several options. The easiest is probably just to find a local metaphysical store. There are usually at least 1 or 2, if not more, metaphysical shops in every city. You can find tons of pocket stones, usually ranging from 50 cents to $2 or $3. Of course, the bigger and bigger crystals you get, the more expensive they become. If you're hunting for bigger gems to purify the frequencies in your house, it's always fun, and cheaper, to go gem mining. Some gem mines actually allow you to go in with a pickaxe and mine your own crystals, and others have sand and water mining as well. This is a really fun experience, and I highly recommend it for anyone who's exploring crystals. Also, I feel it's important to note that if you have crystals and you want to learn what they are, simply do a Google search for crystal properties. There are tons of sites on the web which provide information on the particular frequencies or personalities of crystals. Crystals and gemstones are one of the most powerful tools available for us in the physical dimension right now. And like all tools, the key to maximum utilization is to learn how to consciously implement the tool. If we consciously recognize that our own electromagnetic fields are impacted by the energetic quality of each crystal and gemstone, we would see that they create an alchemical response within our own bodies and psychology, which would allow us to use them as the powerful tools that they are. We could use them on a daily basis to promote health, awareness, growth, and evolution within ourselves and the multidimensional lives we lead. So how does one use crystals? Well, we're going to go into that next week. To wrap this video up, let's conclude with something really awesome. The 13 Mayan crystal skulls. What are they? What were they? What do they do? I'm going to share what Drunvalo Melchizedek has shared, but there's a lot of information available out there. Perhaps we can go into a full story another time. In a nutshell, 13,000 years ago during the fall of Atlantis, the Maya took their calendar and left Atlantis. During this time, they carved a large crystal skull out of quartz crystal and held a ceremony. One person who was trained and prepared would consciously drop their body and enter into the skull, where they would reside within for the next 13,000 years. Then, every 1,000 years, another ceremony like this would take place. The ceremony involved a being who had an understanding of everything humankind knew at that point, and then entering into the crystal and saving these memories within the skull. Kind of like the Mayans would hit file and save as every 1,000 years to preserve what they knew.
Wow.
Supposedly, this year in 2012, they will hold a final ceremony with all of the crystal skulls coming together to reveal all of this ancient knowledge to the world and allowing it to enter our consciousness once more.
So you telling me that this whole 2012 wasn't about everything just blowing up and shit. It was actually some type of, underground, some ceremony went down that released the consciousness, released the wave back to the people. That all of these thousands of years of pressing foul save into the crystals of the people, something was released back in the consciousness of the people in late December 2012.
In 2012, they will hold a final ceremony with all of the crystal skulls coming together to reveal all of this ancient knowledge to the world and allowing it to enter our consciousness once more.
So that it starts to, spread a wave. We start to surf a wave. And, honestly, we sprouted up around 2013, you know what I mean? So we haven't been able to stop reading books and digging up, all the drop of our energy, our source, getting back to our source, getting back to the root. We haven't been able to stop searching for the root, forming a wall of protection, tribing up. Did this have anything to do with you,